When my girlfriend Mia told me, "You're too available, it's unattractive," I just sat there, blinking, unsure if I'd heard her right. We were sitting at her favorite cafe, the same one where I'd waited for her countless times when she ran late, the same one where I first told her I loved her. Her tone wasn't cruel, just detached, like she was explaining a fact. "I don't mean it in a bad way," she added quickly, stirring her drink. "It's just, guys who are always around, always saying yes, they lose their spark. You should have your own thing, you know." I forced a small laugh, trying to hide the sting. "So being kind and reliable is boring now?" She shrugged. "Not boring. Just predictable." The words hung in the air, heavy and sharp. I'd always believed relationships were about showing up, being there when it mattered. But now, it seemed that same consistency made me invisible. That night, I couldn't sleep. Her words echoed in my head until they became a challenge. Too available? Maybe I was. Maybe I'd made her the center of my world while forgetting I had one of my own. So, I decided to change, but not out of spite. Out of self-respect. The next morning, instead of texting her first like I always did, I went for a run. I started going to the gym regularly, dusted off my guitar, and reconnected with old friends I'd pushed aside for our relationship. I stopped waiting for her calls and started living again. When she texted that evening, "Hey, where are you?" I replied hours later, "Out with friends. Talk later." The change was small, but it shifted something. Days turned into weeks, and for the first time in a long while, I wasn't orbiting her schedule. I was building my own. I signed up for a photography class I'd been postponing for years, started hiking on weekends, and even began freelancing on the side. I felt lighter, sharper, more alive. And strangely enough, that's when Mia started noticing. One evening, she called me out of the blue. "You've been distant lately," she said. "Is something wrong?" I smiled. "No, just busy." She hesitated. "Too busy for me?" I could hear the uncertainty in her voice, the same voice that once told me I was too available. "Not too busy," I said calmly. "Just focused." We met a few days later at the same cafe. She looked at me differently this time, curious, almost unsettled. "You've changed," she said finally. "You seem confident." I smiled. Maybe I just stopped chasing things that don't chase back. She bit her lip, eyes darting away. "That's not fair." "Isn't it?" I asked. "You told me being always available was unattractive. So I decided to value my own time. Turns out, I like the version of me who doesn't wait for permission to live." She didn't know what to say, and for once, I didn't rush to fill the silence. After a few minutes, she spoke softly. "I didn't mean I didn't want you around. I just thought you'd stop caring about your own life." "I did," I said honestly. "For a while. Everything revolved around you. But that's not love, it's dependency. I see that now." She reached across the table, touching my hand. "I miss you," she whispered. "The old you." I looked at her, really looked, and realized something that surprised me. I didn't miss the old me. The old me had boundaries made of fog and confidence built on her approval. The new me had both feet on the ground. "I'm still me," I said gently. "Just not the version that forgets who he is to make someone else comfortable." She smiled faintly, but her eyes were glossy. "You sound like someone who doesn't need me anymore." I thought about that, then said, maybe that's what makes someone worth being with, not needing them, but choosing them. For a moment, we just sat there, the air between us charged with something unspoken. Then she said, "Can we start over?" I smiled, but it wasn't the same kind of smile as before. It wasn't desperate or pleading, it was peaceful. "Maybe someday," I said. "But right now, I think I'm exactly where I need to be." When I left that cafe, I didn't feel bitter. I felt free. For the next few months, I kept building my life. The photography side business turned into a steady stream of clients. I met new people, traveled for the first time in years, and finally bought the car I'd been saving for. Then, one day, I got a message from Mia, a picture of her at a coffee shop, smiling. "Proud of you," she wrote. I replied with a simple, "Thank you," and that was it. No drama, no lingering ache, just closure. Looking back, I realized she'd done me a strange kind of favor. Her comment that day had broken something, but it was something that needed breaking. It forced me to stop living as someone's shadow and start shining on my own. Being too available had cost me her attention, but it gave me something far greater, self-worth. And when you finally learn to choose yourself first, you stop needing anyone else to tell you you're enough.